Om Shuklambaradharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vignopashantaye Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham karishyami siddhir me sada yenakshara samamnayam adhigamya maheshwarat kritsnam vyakaranam proktam tasmai paninaye namaha vakyakaram vararuchim Bhashyakaram Patanjalim Paninim Sutrakarancha Pranatosmi Munitrayam Vagartha Viva Sampraktau Vagartha Pratipattaye Jagatah Pitaro Vande Parvati Parameshwarau Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om Om Namaste. Okay. So we were seeing, let me do something different. Okay. So we were seeing a new topic, right? This is our Panchavritti. So I hope you got the book over email. I wanted to also show you this. I realized that you can, where did it go? You can also buy it on Amazon. I forgot to send you that link, but I just realized that you can do that. So I will send you this link, but you can buy the book on Amazon so you get the hard copy at home. And it will ship to you. Okay. Or if you have a Kindle or an iPad, you can buy it on Kindle and it's like $1. So Mehtaji is not trying to make any money. All the money is going to Amazon, I think. So not that Amazon needs money, just so you know. Okay. Now, let me go back to my screen. Okay. So we are talking about Panchavritti, right? Panchavritti. Sorry, I'm writing fast with this pen. It doesn't work so well, but Panchavritti. So we're Panchavrittaya, right? So we're doing this topic where we're talking about, right, that in Sanskrit, there's only Tingantam and Subantam, right? There's verbs and nouns, verbs being made up of, right, Dhatu and Ting Pratyaya, and nouns made up of, right, Pratipadikam and Supratyaya. Now, we have two options for each, Vyutpanna and Avyutpanna. Vyutpanna means derived, right? Avyutpanna means not derived. So there's original ones and there's newly derived ones. Vyutpanna and Avyutpanna. So there's those two. So I'll just say Vyu and Avyu, right? Okay, Vyu and Avyu. Okay, Vyutpanna and Avyutpanna, derived and not derived. In the dhatu, the avyutpanna, the not derived, is what we get in the dhatu kosha. Right? That's what we get in the dhatu kosha. And vyutpanna, there's only one. Sanadi, right? Sanadyanta dhatu vritti. Sanadi, sanadyanta, sanadi anta dhatu vritti. Okay, so I'll just put sun, etc. Right? Sun, etc. is this whole list of suffixes that I can use to make a new dhatu. And this is from the dhatu kosha. Right, so now we have pratipadika. So you see how this tree we've been building? Now, pratipadika, avyutpanna, or just what's there, right? Like Rama, etc. Vyutpanna, we have 3 types, which we'll see, and plus ekashesha. Okay, we have 3 types plus ekashesha. We'll see ekashesha. I'll show you what ekashesha is today as well. Okay, so you have 3 plus sun, 4 plus 1 ekashesha. Ekashesha is its own category, essentially. Okay. All right. So if I go back to our book, what we saw in our last class, right, is that we saw, sorry for the whiplash, where we're looking at, this is like page 3 or 4 of the book, but it's sanadyanta dhatu vrittihi, right, where you have a dhatu or subantam plus sanadi pratyaya, and you make a new dhatu. Right? The whole main thing that we need to know is you're making a new dhatu. You can either use dhatu or subantam plus a sanadi pratyaya. Okay? The ones that we looked at last time mostly use a dhatu. Okay? There's some few suffixes that we saw, young, ketch, etc., that uses subantam. Okay? But most of the ones we'll see will involve a dhatu plus sanadi pratyaya, and we're going to make a new dhatu. Okay, we also saw krit vritti. Okay, krit vritti is when is a new pratipadika. Okay, a kridanta or krit vritti is when we're making a new pratipadika. So right, we've already talked about dhatus. Now we're on the other side of the chart, right? The right side of the chart, where we're making Vyutpanna Pratipadika. One of the types of Vyutpanna Pratipadika is called Kridanta. When I add a dhatu and a krit pratyaya. Okay. Any questions so far? Har Prasad ji, you have a question.
Mahodaya is no, you said dhatu pata. It should dhatu kosha. Shouldn't it be dhatu pata?
Dhatu pata, correct. That's the technical. That's the Panini's book.
Yeah.
Now dhatu kosha also we can. I mean, yeah, dhatu kosha is fine also. Why dhatu kosha is fine is because it takes the dhatu pata and then it arranges it in terms of alphabetical order. And it's a rearrangement of the dhatu pata.
So dhatu kosha is a rearrangement of dhatu pata, right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. Is that the only difference?
Yeah, and then there's some additional things that they add that help the person studying grammar.
Okay.
Like whether it takes a addition, what they call it, agama, whether it takes certain things. And, you know, in the book we have, there also has the upasarga plus dhatu, right? That all won't be there in the original. in Dhatu Kosha, it's just all Sanskrit words, right?
Yes, yes.
So in our or Dhatu Pata, in the Dhatu Kosha, we have letters and alphabet. This is Atma Nepali, so they put A, they put one. That's all not there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's just a rearrangement and some additional data for us to be able to organize it easily.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Dhanyawada.
So we saw, right? So far we saw sana, dyanta, dhatu. Okay. Sanadi, anta, dhatu. And we saw, now we're looking at pratipadika, krit vritti. Oh, Nilima ji has a question. Sorry. I didn't see that.
Thank you.
Yeah, please.
That the part was very clear how you explained that dhatu having vyutpanna, avyutpanna, then the vyutpanna comes from vyutpanna comes the sanadi words, and from the avyutpanna comes the dhatu kosha. That was clear. Pratipadikam, again, it have the vyutpanna and avyutpanna. And you mentioned avyutpanna has 3 types. And then, did you say anything about avyutpanna? Did I miss anything? I wasn't sure.
No. It's not that they're all in a text, for example. It's just there's words, there's these pratipadika, which are Bhagavan given, let's say. Okay, they're not derived. Now, some scholars will say every word, no matter what, is derived from a dhatu. But some scholars will say, no, there's just some words that why break your head? It's just Bhagavan given. Like some will say Rama is Ram dhatu, right? And the one who plays in your heart is Rama.
Yeah.
Okay, they'll say that. Or they'll say Rama is just Bhagavan given word. Why try to break your head? So there's some words, that are up, but there's no list as such.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Like sarva, there's a lot of words we saw in book 1. For example, tad, etad, all of those are Bhagavan given pratipadikas. We don't need to try to find how it's derived. There's certain words that are derived, like Bhagavat Shabda, Yogin Shabda, etc., that we'll see. Nadi, is an example of a Bhagavan given word, right? We don't need to find the dhatu and try to figure out, Okay. So one of those types of newly created or ones that we can derive a vritti is called kridanta, right? So that's the first type. I said there's 3. The first type is kridanta. We saw that last time. Okay. Now let's look at the second type. It says 3 because we're counting sanadi, okay? But this is the second type of pratipadika. Vyutpanna pratipadika, derived pratipadika. Okay, you can repeat after me. Taddhita vrittihi. Taddhita vrittihi. Okay. First type was what? Krit vrittihi, kridanta. This is taddhita vrittihi, or we call taddhitanta, right? Anta ending with taddhita. Okay, so a taddhita pratyaya is a type of pratyaya which is suffixed to a pratipadika to make a new pratipadika. Okay, before we were adding it to a dhatu or a subandam, but mostly a dhatu we saw. Here we're adding pratipadika to this taddhita pratyaya. And we create a new pratipadika. Okay, that which ends with taddhita pratyaya becomes a pratipadika by the sutra. See, it says krit taddhita samāsa. Is Panini wrote those words. Krit taddhita samāsa become Those with end with that become a pratipadika. So this is the source. The new pratipadika, which ends with this, is called taddhitanta, right? Naturally. That which ends with taddhita pratyaya. This equation makes it very clear. Okay. For certain taddhita pratyayas, pratipadika has to be with certain vibhaktis. For example, twa, one of the taddhita pratyaya, is suffixed to a pratipadika ending with the sixth case. This is not so important right now. So if this is, I'll show you this when we get there, okay? Don't worry about that point. The point we need to write now is pratipadika plus this will make you a new pratipadika. Okay, let's see some examples, right? Like, what are you talking about? This makes no sense. I have no idea what you're saying. We're in outer space right now. Okay, let's come home. We don't need to. Have you heard the word? Like, have you heard Bhagavat? Bhagavat, which we make Bhagavan. One of Bhagavat is Bhagavan, is a taddhitanta. Okay, so let's look at that one first, since we know that's the word. Bhaga, which means a virtue, plus this matup pratyaya, one who has, one who possesses. One who possesses a bhaga, a virtue, is what we call Bhagavat, one who has bhaga. Now there's 6 bhagas that Bhagavan has. That's a different class. But that is why we call Bhagavat. How matup becomes, or don't worry, okay? Shanti, shanti, shanti. One thing at a time. We're just seeing some examples. So this matup means one who has, right? So asya asti. Asti is asya of something, right? So one who has. Bhagaha asya asti iti Bhagavan. Bhaga plus su. This is 1 su ojas ojas, right? Su plus matup is Bhagavat. Now you know why I made you chant su ojas with the it letters, because you're going to see them here. Yeah. Okay. So that's one example. Let's look at this one also. These are more common words. Okay. We're going to make jnanin. One of jnanin will be jnani. Right? The right, the knower, the wise person. Knower, this wise person, is a taddhita, right? Now we know these words, but if I'm able to just catch what the suffix might be from sight, then I can tell you exactly what this word means. Right? Then, because in the class, in the teaching, I'm just going to say Bhagavan, Bhagavan, but you might not. Okay, then you can look, what does Bhagavan really mean? Bhagaha asya asti iti Bhagavan, one who has these qualities. Or jnana, jnani is jnana plus ini pratyaya, one who possesses, just like this matup. So it becomes jnanin, one who has knowledge. Same sort of vigraha, jnanam asya asti iti jnani. It's so this anuswara is there, but it goes away. It's an it letter. So I just say ini because it's hard to pronounce inin. Okay. Jnana plus su plus in equals jnanin. So you see, jna plus in becomes nyanin. The akara goes away because of sandhi. Nyanin. I just want to give you some examples, okay? So let's look at, okay, I'm getting ahead of myself, but eka plus twa becomes ekatwa. Eka one, twa is the status of that, or what we call in English ness, N-E-S-S. So ekatwa means oneness. So now every time you see this twa at the end of a word, you can know it means ness. Right? Ekasya bhavaha ekatvam, the status or the quality of being one, what we call oneness, is ekatva. Okay, last example I'll show you. We've seen tasil before. Tasil gives the fifth case meaning, right? So tat plus tasil becomes tataha from that. The vigraha will be just, it means tasmat, same meaning, right? Tasmat and tataha, the same meaning. So if you want to say, what does tataha mean? With tasmat iti tataha. Note that, remember when I was looking at all these, like for example, this, inside the taddhita vrittis, all the sup pratyayas are elided. We get rid of them. So that's why, right, if I'm jnana plus su plus in, the su goes away and then this becomes jnanin. That akara goes away because of a sandhi, but that's a different thing. But the su goes away because it's taddhita. Okay. So a taddhita word is a pratipadika plus taddhita pratyaya, and we're making a new pratipadika, which gives additional meaning most of the time, right? We get additional meaning, but technically it's a pratipadika because then you still have to decline it, right? You still need to add a sup pratyaya to make a subandam. Oh, sorry. I don't know if we need to go into all of these details about what each of these means. So we'll leave this for now. But these were some of the examples. Twa, matup we saw, ini we saw. Okay. Let's leave this for now. Now do we got the general concept of what a taddhita vritti is. And then you have any questions with this or wants me to look at something more in detail? Yeah, Harprasadji, yeah. You need to unmute yourself as well.
So in Sanadhyanta, we had 12 pratyayas,
Yeah.
starting from sun.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, in this case, we have got how many? Is there any quantity, or how does it work?
I don't know the exact quantity, but these ones listed are the most common. So I don't know off the top of my head. I don't even know where I would find that.
Okay.
What is the quantity? But these are the ones that are most commonly studied.
But in Sanadhyanta, it is 12 only.
Yeah, it's 12 only. And I think that's told in the I think it's said like that as well in the sutra.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Dhanyawada.
I can't see everyone also, so you have to let me know if you have a question. Maybe just put a question mark in the chat, okay? Or you can raise your hand using the Zoom function. That should show up. Okay, so now, and we've talked about this as well. So there's three types of vyutpanna derived pratipadika, right? Kridanta, Taddhitanta, and Samāsa. Okay. Samāsa, we've seen this a few times. I will go through it just for clarity's sake, right? So you might know this if you've been in this class before. If you're new, it might be new, but I'll just go for it because, yeah, just for thoroughness. So Samāsa vritti, okay? Samāsa vrittihi. Samāsa vrittihi. Okay. So two or more nouns. Already, notice how we have nouns. We're talking about subantam, okay, which are meaningfully associated or connected, can be compounded into a new pratipadika. So here, if you look at the equation, subantam plus subantam. Notice I'm not saying pratipadika. Okay, this is pratipadika plus the supratya, subanta. It's a full-on noun. One noun plus another noun. It doesn't have to be two. Sometimes you can have 3 or 4. You can have 15 if you want. Or 100, unlimited. Adding these together, you'll make a new pratipadika. Okay, now we're not making we haven't made a subanta. We made a pratipadika. A new nominal base called samāsa vritti. This is what we call a compound word, right? In English, we'll say like earthworm. Earthworm is one word, and right, they have a meaningful connection. The worm which is in the earth. So you can combine them. This is the same thing where we're making compound words, where we're adding nouns together to make a new pratipadika, which we're calling a samāsa vritti. Generally, we do compound 2 nouns at a time, right? So we have 2 nouns, but then we can add another noun to that new pratipadika. Do you see what I'm saying? You make 2, you make a new pratipadika, then you have to add a pratyaya to make it a subantam. Now that new subantam can be added to another subantam. Okay. Of these 2 nouns, the first noun is called purvapada or purvapadam, and the second noun is called uttarapadam. Purva means previous, uttara means the later one. Okay. Purvapada, uttarapada. Purvapada, uttarapada. First one, second. Okay. So the most common example, right? Let me go to the next. Oh, sorry. Instead of looking at that, yeah, let's look at. So there's one type of avyayi bhava. Okay, this is the first type of samasa. Now we're just touching this. Now, right, so there's these 4 types of samasas, and they are divided into 4 based on which word is pradhana, predominant. Which one is the main word that we're talking about? Okay, that's how we differentiate the type of compound word, is which word is the main thing that we're talking about. Okay, if this is hard to understand, we're going to come back to it. Don't worry. I'm just leaving impressions so that I've right. It's like when you heavy snow, right? If you're trying to get through heavy snow, you put your foot in the where someone else has already put their foot, right? That's you don't try to make fresh tracks. So I'm laying some tracks that I can then put my foot on later. So avyayi bhava, where the first word, the purva pada, is the main thing. Okay. Purvapada Artha Pradhanam. The meaning of the Purvapada, the first word, is predominant. Not as common as the rest of them. That's why I'm not even going to give an example, not to confuse you. Tat Purusha Samasa. We've seen these quite a bit. Tat Purusha Samasaha. Type T. Type T is where the meaning of the Uttarapada has predominance. It's the main thing. Uttarapada Artha Pradhanam. So for example, Vatasya Moolam, Vatamulam. The root of the tree. The root of the tree is what we're talking about. So we say Vatamulam. We're talking about the root. The root is the main thing. Neelam Utpalam iti Neelotpalam. A blue lotus, you can make one word, blue lotus. One being an adjective, another. Now they can be separate words too, or you can combine them, right? Because they have a meaningful relationship, being adjective, substantive. You can write Vatasya Moolam, the root of the tree. That's fine. You can write that separately. You can also make a samasa. Vatamula. Okay. Other example is you'll see Vedantaha, right? Vedanam antaha iti Vedantaha. The end of the Veda, the end portion of the Veda is what we call Vedanta. Right? That is a Shashti Tatpurusha Samasa. It's a Tatpurusha. The last word is the last thing in here. It's what's emphasized. The end of the Veda. The last portion. Okay. Paramatma, this is also, right, a Tatpurusha Samasa. This is more adjective, substantive type word. Okay. Is Vedanta and Paramatma not a Subanta? Vedanta and Paramatma. So Vedanta, so Vedanta, so short akara is a pratipadika. And it declines like Rama. So 1-3 would be Vedantaha. Okay, so just so we know that there's a question. So Vedanta, it depends if you're saying short akara or long akara. The short akara is a pratipadika. Okay, we still have to decline it then. Paramatma, but yeah, so I'll just leave it. But it'd be Paramatman, and then you decline, right? Paramatman, this middle goes away, so you Paramatman, that's the pratipadika, and then you decline 1-1 would be Paramatma. Okay. We're out of time. Any questions that are remaining that are, yeah. Harprasadji, go ahead. Please.
Okay, so what happens to Su? Su is not a, it goes in both places.
Yeah, it does go in both places, correct.
Oh,
I
okay.
was just emphasizing, yeah, both go away.
Okay, got it. Mhm.
Mhm.
So like Su out, just like when we go through the declension, all those declension will go away.
Yeah, the declension goes away.
Oh,
Correct.
okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay,
And then you have to redecline the word.
okay. Yeah, right, I got it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
So technically, yeah. So let's leave it there. Yeah. Urmila ji, you have a question?
Yeah, my question is in the table. I'm wondering if that is mislabeled. It says Samasa Vrittihi Vedantaha, and that is 1-3. So it's already declined.
Yeah, I hear what
So
you're
should
saying.
it be Vedanta, Paramatma? And what is that is not a Pratipadikam.
Yeah, so this is a Subandam, correct. So what the question we need to find out is, can a Samasa Vritti also refer to the Subandha version? Right? So the Pratipadika is also, the Pratipadika is called a Samasa Vritti.
Correct.
Right? But what I'm assuming, and I'm pretty sure this is correct, even when we decline it, it's still a Samasa Vritti, right? It's still a declined word, which is made, right? But I can get clarity on that just to make sure. But I'm assuming, right? Because we still call it a Samasa, even when it's declined.
Yes, but is it different when we say Samasa as opposed to Samasa Vritti?
It's not different. That is the same.
Mhm.
But technically, if it's just the Pratipadika or it's the Subanta also, I can find that all out just for, I can look at the Panini Sutra as well.
It's a little bit confusing as Subanta.
Yeah, a little
Going back
confusing.
and forth between Subanta and Pratipadika.
Yeah, correct. Okay, so we'll end there. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha Hari Om.